So what we have here is we have the seat from Webster. Jeff and I disassembled it. Jeff went ahead and did some sanding and some blasting to get rid of any rust that was on it. And then we went ahead and we spray painted it with some Krylon 5X or whatever the stuff is, spray paint. So now it looks really nice and it's protected from the rust. It looks like we're missing one little clip over on this edge over here. I'm gonna look into that, I think. See if we can't get that. Basically, we have the foam, and we have the seat cover, and we're gonna go ahead and stretch the seat cover on. This is the box with the brand new seat foam in it. Somebody got it dirty. Probably shipping or something. I don't know. It's not me. I wash my hands before touching any of this stuff. It's all clingy stuff. Did it come with any instructions? Probably not. And there is nothing. Oh. Seat foam, bench, 69 to 72 truck, 69 to 72 Suburban. So that might be an issue. This has just become a nightmare, I think. I wonder if this foam is for no springs. I'm over here at Street Metal Classics, and Jeff isn't here yet. He's out cruising his 57 his red 57 wagon because he hadn't driven it for a while. I pulled all the springs off of here. I didn't cut them. I just disconnected them. You can see that you have to get it up over these notches and then pull it out of these. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. My fingers are sore from doing all that. And then we've got these three pieces here from the seat back. And so we're going to tack all that into place so that we have the seat back, and then the foam will be able to attach to the back. And I think the back will be okay. It's the bottom that really needs some modifying. So I think we're going to try and do maybe 4 inches between each of these. So there's going to be, I don't know, 10 or so in here maybe. And we're going to see what we can do with that and get the foam to sit in here right. So that's the objective behind this one today. I haven't seen Jeff. He hasn't showed up. It's probably just about quitting time around this place. But I did find a solution, I think. I'm going to need some bigger rod. Maybe that 1/2 inch stuff I've got in my hanger. But I cut these off to where they'll fit in between. And then I went ahead and I bent them where they come down like just inside this angle. And so I think what I'll do is I'll put that rod, 1/2 inch rod or whatever, in here. Because this little 3/16 stuff that I got, this stuff just isn't strong enough to hold these springs. And I might need to go get another bundle of spring so that I can make in between each of these, because that's a pretty far spread. I guess the middle wouldn't have it, but these other ones would. And anyways, if you got somebody in the middle, they're usually lighter and smaller, so I guess that wouldn't make too big of a difference. But basically all of these will come down into that corner, and they'll still have some spring to them even down there. But that'll give it the shape I think that we need for the foam, and that will still give some spring into the bottom of the seat base. And then that way, this is actually pretty simple to do. If you've got the old school seat like mine, the 67, 68, the base model that's, you know, formed with the springs, you can just take all the springs off and get some of this stuff and then cut it I think what I did was I counted, you know, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then a half. This is basically, I think, what gave me that span and that shape that I was looking for that foam to sit in on there. So we may need to go get some more spring material, some more spring, and then make some more in there. But I think in order to hold all that spring down, I'm gonna have to get the 3/8 rod, big 3/8 solid rod, and weld it in this channel down here where the corner would be, and then to come across straight to this side over here, and then have all these springs sitting underneath it in this bend that I've made, have it sitting underneath the rod, and then that'll give the seat the shape that we need, I believe. So I think it's actually pretty simple, because I don't even know that I need to do a whole lot of welding. Maybe just tack weld the rod in this side and on that side, and then I need to tack weld those pieces across the seat back. There we have it. I got all the lattice tacked back on and tacked on in the back of the seat, so that should hold the foam on the back. Springs on the bottom, we'll figure that out. So how'd it go?
Close.
Oh, okay.
Close that one.
Oh.
Remember he didn't say come with me.
Yeah.
I saw him driving home while I was driving there. I was like, oh.
Whoops. Okay.
If you want to pull the loader over, you can.
Oh, okay, I'm already done with it. Right on.
Thank you. If you have extra, use it.
Huh?
If you have it, is this extra?
I don't want to make it too stiff.
Well, we have.
Plus I might need to make a thing for the sides of the foam. I don't know. Because we gotta still weld that nut in there, that square one. It popped off when we took it all apart, remember?
Yeah. You welded the bolt too?
Yep.
Oh, it's hot!
It is. I'll bet you it is. Jeff and I have been trying to modify the stock footback seat in the 68 C10 Webster. We've been trying to get that all modified for the seat foam for the deluxe seat. I just completed stretching this seat cover over the back of the seat. So the issue that we had before was that the lady that stitched it had stitched this corner down here. This was stitched all the way out to the edge of this stuff. So I consulted with my sister, who does a lot of sewing, and I know that this is a really good quality outdoor type of vinyl. So it stretches more one way than the other. So I know it stretches more in this direction across the material to stretch the front. You know, it stretches more this way than it does this way. So the problem was, if we split the seam, then we're worried about the corner stitching coming out in here on the seat letting go at some point. I didn't want to do that. I knew this stitch across the edge here, where I figured I was going to be stretching it to, that stitch is back stitched over here, and then she stitched on the sides with the piping. So My sister's very familiar with this vinyl as well, and she said if I cut it, it's not gonna fray, because the idea was to cut a pocket, take this off the seat that I'd put on, take it off, just cut as little as possible to get it over the edge, because I wanted a good looking side. I wanted the side of the seat to look good when you open the door of the pickup truck. So that keeps the hole on the inside of the piping so that this outside edge is still really clean. You're never going to hardly ever see this in the back. Besides that, the whole middle of the back is open anyways. And then just hospital corner basically down here to get that look right when you're stretching it. The seat now has a nice clean edge when you open the door. I mean, it looks finished and all that, but it's definitely not going to pull off of there because it's through a hole, a little pocket hole. I slid the cover over the bottom arms that bolt to the bottom of the seat, and then I tried to line up my piping on the top corner of the foam. It's maybe off by maybe a half an inch, maybe, but I don't know that you want that piping digging into the top across your shoulders anyways, or across your back in the seat. So that being just over the edge will probably be helpful to comfort. But everything, my lines are pretty close. I mean, it's hard to get them perfect. I could fidget with it and I could get my lines probably closer. You'll have the bottom of the seat down here, so the inserts will match up on the top and the bottom, and then this will go down under inside. So I think that's going to look really, really good doing it that way. And just kind of hog ringed it to the back to kind of make it look good. And I tried to use the piping everywhere I could, because this one doesn't have the metal bars in it. She's just got the plastic piping. So I tried to use the piping, and then on these edges I rolled it up to get it to where I could stretch it that little bit to the bar, because it wouldn't go to this bar. But then if I rolled it up, it gives me more material to hold onto this bar. So I've got that in there. It's not going to be perfect on the back, but you're hardly ever going to see it anyways. And of course, there's the hospital corner on this side, and I could fidget with that a little bit too, you know, but it gives it a nice finished edge, and it doesn't look bad at all. So if I take it, I set the seat back up. I mean, that's a pretty good looking seat back. You can see just a hint of wrinkles, I think, in this area on both sides, just a little bit. So this is the seat bottom. So I added this 1/2 inch solid rod across, because that matches up with this angle across the molded foam, and that gives us springs that mount in the stock locations up here in the front. This is just spring for like your armchair at the house or something from the upholstery shop. So I have a piece up here, comes down, and then a piece across here, and then these are just like the little tabs that they use, like they just nail them into the wood or whatever on your chair when they upholster your chair in the house. But that gives me some kind of spring for, you know, support base for the foam, and I think this will work. And then where these cutouts are in the two sides of the foam here, I think what I'm going to do is Jeff and I went down to the store, the craft store, sewing store, and we got like some 3-inch high density foam. So we're just going to fill in with foam in here on the edge instead of putting a spring or something in here, because we don't really have any springs for that. So we're just going to put some foam in there, and so that it'll kind of just collapse a little as you're getting in or out of the seat on either side. And I think that should do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hog ring this foam to the seat springs so that it doesn't move around on me when I try to stretch the bottom cover over the seat. I have the finished product of the seat. So it folds up. It's kind of loose and I don't know, it's kind of difficult to stretch the bottom. The back actually turned out easier to stretch than the bottom. And then of course my lines on the inserts are not perfect. I don't know if that's from sewing or stretching or whatever, but it's pretty close. The seat is way more comfortable than it was. To tie the outside color to the inside color, it actually wasn't too bad of a project. Just trying to figure out how to set up the springs from the base seat that has the form made in springs versus the deluxe seat that's all the foam. So it is possible to put the deluxe foam in your base seat. It just takes a little bit of work. But remember that if you do a little every day, you'll go a long way. So if you like it, like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next one.